What you are listening to now is the Central Indiana Sports Report podcast number 320.2, the NBA Report with John Robertson. Honestly, so far, the NBA Report has mostly just been excuse to talk more Pacers. And that's what we do on this podcast. Getting John's assessment of the announcement that Tyrese Haliburton is out all of next season. The Myles Turner saga, where the roster stands at this point, and a little bit of a look ahead to the Summer League.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Welcome NBA and Pacer fans to the Central Indiana Sports Report. Out here today at Tipton Municipal Golf Course to talk some WNBA. But we decided to do an impromptu NBA report with John Robertson since we haven't heard his opinions on what the Pacers have done, where they're headed, and some other NBA news. It's been a while since we've talked some NBA because you've been so busy with the WNBA.
I have been incredibly busy this summer.
Yeah, and so Michelle Garmon is also with us. Once again, Tipton Municipal Golf Course. Get out here. It's beautiful. If you're a golfer, don't neglect it. It's a good one. John, your thoughts on Myles Turner?
You know, I'm sad to see Myles go. I really like him. I like when players are with a team for a long time and have loyalty. But on the same opposite side of the same coin, I think that money-wise, it's the better move to let him go. After watching the press conference with Pritchard, I feel like Myles kind of left without letting the Pacers know he was going to leave. At least that was.
I don't know if I buy it.
That's the read that I got. I don't know how accurate it is, and I'm going to reserve judgment.
I don't think Myles Turner walks away from a negotiation if he thinks it's a good faith negotiation.
That's fair.
I don't think the Pacers were very serious about re-signing him. I think they like the flexibility more than they like Myles Turner.
Well, and I think that's fair too. They said that the Haliburton injury didn't come into play.
Kevin Pritchard's been watching what we've all been watching.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that Myles wanted too much money. I mean, I think the market dictated his value too. So, like, he was probably worth the money to someone. And if as a business person, you're gonna take the money. Loyalty is worth a lot, but you start putting multiple M's in front of it or after it. Sometimes you're gonna take the money. So, I'm not a Myles hater. I don't think he had a good Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think he had a good Finals. I think he was worth trying to keep
good against Cleveland.
Yeah, he was great against Cleveland. He's been great in the regular season for a lot of time. So I like having him here, but I think the money was just too big. So I really do think that it kind of solved a problem for the Pacers, and they didn't have to go. They didn't have to go into the luxury tax.
And they went and got Jay Huff, who's a similar type, less experienced, definitely not as good as Myles Turner, but a kind of Myles Turner style player for the backup role.
Yeah, I think that the highlights I watched of him, because I pulled elsewhere that can come here and actually do something big. So maybe he does something good. But
yeah, maybe. Pritchard didn't say these words during his press conference, but he basically said, "We like where we are at center right now better than we did in the finals last year."
Yeah.
And he's right, especially if Isaiah Jackson and James Wiseman are anywhere near what we started to see at the beginning of last year.
Yeah,
because they were exactly what the Pacers need. Michelle and I have been referring to this since last season. Myles Turner is a better player than Isaiah Jackson. But Isaiah Jackson does things that Myles Turner doesn't that would be perfect in the Pacers offense. And now we're about to find out if that's true.
Yeah, and his potential is, everybody talks about the potential of Isaiah Jackson just because of this, especially if this injury did not slow him down or take away from any of his vertical jump.
Yeah,
yes.
Injury slow him down. We'll see.
Wiseman was, man, in the preseason last year, you started to go, man, James Wiseman, if he's this good.
Yeah, no,
and then all of a sudden he was gone.
And it's like I told Greg the other day, I think they're looking at Wiseman and Jackson as being one player for this season and hoping then next year when Haliburton comes back, they have two really good centers.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like what they did. I think that there's drama involved, of course. The thing that I feel like something happened between the players with Myles, because when the Pacers put out all their "thanks for your time here, Myles" tweets and all that stuff, and Instagram posts, not a single one of them got liked by a Pacers player. And if you go back and look at throughout the season, they were liking each other's stuff all the time, and they were interacting. And Benedict Mathurin made a post on Instagram yesterday of him dunking on Myles in a practice. That was literally the picture that Ben put up. So I feel,
love it.
I think there's something going on there.
Well, I think I'm going to guess that his teammates.
It's probably in good fun.
It's probably in good fun, but they probably also feel a little slighted because I'm going to guess they didn't know either until Shams. Yeah. If Kevin Pritchard didn't know, I'm going to guess none of the teammates knew either until that tweet that he was headed to Milwaukee.
Well, and that was their whole thing. Their whole team thing was we're in it for each other. We're band of brothers, and then one of them just bails.
Without a word.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Only one side has told this side of the story. Probably only one side will.
Yeah,
Myles is a class guy.
Again,
not.
But like I told you,
we're trying to turn him into a bad guy.
I'm not trying to.
I'm not. But it's like I told you.
But I'm willing to hate him in Milwaukee.
But I'll tell you what. It's like I told Greg the other day. I said I really think in today's day and age, everybody there's leaks everywhere, social media. You like it, Shems. I think that there were good. I do think they were negotiating. I do think that the Pacers had a threshold. They didn't want to pay him a certain amount. They didn't want to give him a fourth-year player option, and they didn't want to have a no-trade clause or a 15% bonus in the trade. They didn't want any extras. Yeah. It was a flat out, and I think
Myles
it was
Turner on their roster.
I know, but I think it was only a two or.
Wanted him.
But we don't know that because they do like Myles, and Myles is well loved by the city. So that has something to do with it too.
Even with Haliburton out, he's their fifth best player. You can't pay
him
$20 million.
But if you can get him just for 2 or 3 years, but what I think happened is somebody in that agency that was representing Turner leaked that, and then that came out that way. And I said, 20 years ago, before you had social media, that stuff did not happen, and unfortunately, it keeps happening at an increasing time. And there are some players I've actually seen that are ticked, and who was it? There was somebody not very long ago that leaked, and they said that's not true, and they ended up not going there. It was somewhere else, and I think they were ticked that there was somebody leaking their information because that's not what you want.
Well, here's the thing. Let's just break it up. Myles Turner is a big Star Wars fan. He's a huge Star Wars fan, right? So this is his Anakin turns into Darth Vader moment. It's
if he'd gone to Dallas, I think we would have still loved him.
Yeah.
But he went to Milwaukee and betrayed us.
He betrayed it. He's like, no, you were supposed to be the chosen one.
And again, one day I'll love Myles Turner. I look forward to the day that we honor him in Indianapolis when he's no longer wearing that ugly, ugly, ugly Bucks uniform.
So I did see a tweet last night that said, do you retire his number? And I said, absolutely not. No shot.
No, there's only 2 modern Pacers with their numbers retired.
Yeah.
Give us a break.
Well, that was my thought. He's been classy.
Jermaine O'Neal's number's not retired.
Yeah, I don't retire Myles' number.
No. But we do respect the time that he gave us. He is a memorable all-time Pacer, without question, and a great guy with a great personality who is not a bad guy. But he's in Milwaukee now, so he's a bad guy to us until he's no longer in Milwaukee.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Tyrese Haliburton out for the season. I think we're all happy about that, right?
Yeah, I would rather him be out for the season than try and hurry back. I did see a report that it was a higher sprain than they thought, so that it gets more blood flow, so they think that he can heal quicker.
They've also learned that getting to it faster with surgery helps the recovery time.
And shout out to Boston's front office for they called and said, let us help you with anything we've learned with Tatum's.
That's right.
And that's classy.
It is classy.
So
I hate when the teams I hate are classy.
I don't hate Boston. I mean, I'm fine with Boston.
Yeah.
not a lot of news there other than, it's still been good to see him out doing stuff, supporting the team. He went to Summer League to watch a game or two. He's been at Fever games, so he's still supporting. Love that. I love.
He's out there every day, apparently.
I love Haliburton as an indie guy. Like, I really do. Like,
the best move right now would be to trade him.
no.
But they're never going to do that.
No.
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 I mean, for the franchise to win a championship, the best thing they can do right now would be to use their best asset. Since they have so many assets, but there's no way in fact, Pritchard says when they make their final decisions, there are 5 people in the room, and Tyrese Haliburton's one of them.
I feel like trading him now would be not as good because his value's low with the injury.
Good point.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm like,
yeah.
Why would you sell your stocks at the bottom instead of at the top?
Bringing it up was mostly stupid, but but I just wanted to point out that even with that, he is a lifetime Pacer.
Oh yeah, I love him. I hope they never. I think Tyrese and Caitlin are the 2 best things going in this city.
You can't get equal value for Tyrese Haliburton if you're the Pacers now.
No.
You just can't.
Yeah,
he's the best.
I love him.
Love him.
Any other Pacers?
I never thought that the Reggie Miller one day would have a chance to be my number 2 favorite Pacer, but it's possible.
I don't know that
it's possible.
It could be generation gap wise, like the younger kids will have like Tyrese more than Reggie. I don't know that Tyrese will ever pass Reggie. For
if he brings
for
us
the
a
old
championship,
people.
He could.
I think that they're just going to be on a plateau like together.
I do too. I think they're kind of. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think they'll be.
They're definitely linked.
I think they're intertwined.
Equally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Equally likable because they have a bond and what they do, and they both love the organization.
Yeah.
They both love basketball. Go watch it, and I think the greatest thing is here. Tyrese he's going around on his ankle scooter, but he's going to the Fever games, sitting in a suite. He's going to practices for Summer League. He's going to the Summer League. He's looking at it. He loves the sport of basketball.
Speaking of players we love, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you in on Johnny Furphy watch this summer?
You're a 10?
Oh.
I
think we're all a 10.
No.
Come on, we're all a 10.
No.
I'll give him a 7.5.
I'm more like John.
Are you on Cam Jones watch? Or are you on
6 to
Taylor
7,
Peter
7.
watch? Who are we?
I don't know. I think Furphy's got potential, but I got to see something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're excited to see if it's there.
I'm excited to see if Cam Jones gets healthy, he can do. Just because he's so athletic and he's versatile. He's he's kind of in that Drew Nembhard thing, and I'm anxious to see if he can develop into that because, as I said. You have to look at somebody who's going to replace what T.J. McConnell brings to this team off the bench because T.J.'s, he's one of the higher.
Talk about the end of T.J.'s Pacers days. That's something we are not going to talk about on this podcast.
I'm just saying you've got to look at his age.
You don't.
Yes, you do, and
He's
the salary
never gonna go away.
salary he is making.
Never going to go away.
And the salary
Lifetime
he is
Pacer.
making.
If he better be on the roster the day I die, Michelle. John Robertson, Quentin Jackson.
That's only because you want to sing your song.
MCCONNELL McConnell.
If Phoenix picks up if the Fever pick up his sister from Phoenix, then you could sing it twice.
That's right. I can't wait. You want me to sing it twice now?
No.
Okay.
No.
Quentin Jackson is a guy who could step into the role of the emergency point guard. He's going to be someone I'm going to be interested in. By the way, starts. What day of the week is it? I never know what day of the week is, John. It's summer, man.
Yeah.
Thursday, the summer league starts for the Pacers against, I think, Cleveland. If you're watching on YouTube, it's behind you. Just look at the screen right now. But I believe it's against Cleveland. It doesn't really matter. I don't care who they're playing. I'm only interested in what the Pacers are doing. But I love summer league and scouting the guy. To me, it just gets me excited about the potential of the future.
That's fair. I think if we didn't have Fever to watch, I would follow it more. But because Fever's in season,
again, YouTube 10-minute replays. Everybody,
I know
YouTube 10-minute replays. They'll give you a lot of information.
There's just so much going on in the world
But I'm on Johnny Furphy watch.
All right, I think he'll be good. As he's a fan favorite. Like, people love when he's in the game. So I hope he turns out okay.
The front office thinks he's special.
Well, we'll see.
He's excited. He's a crowd pleaser. He can't play a lick of defense, so I'm not.
He's 18 years freaking old.
I don't care.
Him.
Defense doesn't mean defense
Yes,
is all.
it does.
Defense is about hustle and desire.
No, it's not.
Yes,
It's
it
about
is.
man
No,
strength.
you do not have to. You do not have to.
That's why
be
the
super
Pacers
talented.
went from
No,
bad at defense to good at defense with the same players,
you do
right?
not have to be
John, did that
talented to be a good defender.
I'm just saying, I know.
You have to be a man to be the best defender you can
And
be.
you know what? He looks about as manly as he's ever going to get. He might gain a little
He's
bit
still
more.
a little boy.
But he still doesn't have the potential of an NBA body. I don't see. I think you know what I think he is.
He's
I think
19 years
I
old.
think he's a fun white kid to watch play basketball.
I can tell you the girls like to watch him.
They can. I mean,
He would
I
be
know
a
he's exciting, but
sophomore
I
in
don't
college.
see it.
No, I'm
It
just
doesn't
saying-
matter. I mean, look at the players. He is no. I mean, he's not comparable to some of these young guys that came out this year in the draft. He's not.
I just hope he turns out okay.
Anything interesting? Kevin Durant being traded to Houston. Anything else catch your
see how-
interest? It's been a pretty slow summer.
I did
The
see
big news was Luka to the Lakers in the
that was big.
midseason. So
I did see a headline yesterday that I think has potential to be interesting, where Jokic is not intending to sign an extension with Denver, and that's going to have some major
you would
implications.
love Tyrese Haliburton.
Well, the question is he, again, this is why I want more information before I speak on it too much. Is he just going to retire from the NBA?
Could be.
Because I don't think he really cares that much about
Nope,
it.
he doesn't. He has said his whole life since he's been in the NBA, his goal is to retire from the NBA and play for the national team.
Yeah. So, what does him not signing an extension mean? Does it mean another team could get him, or does it mean he's just done?
I think it means another team could get him, is my guess. I don't think he's done playing in the NBA, but that's a risk you take if you trade for him, for sure.
I also think he wants to see. I mean, Denver did retooling.
Yeah.
I mean, they got their salaries down. A lot of people liked the retooling they did.
Yeah.
But I think
They're definitely a
Jokic.
better team right now.
I think Jokic is waiting to see how good they are, and then if they look good, how willing is Denver to?
I don't think he thinks
spend.
like all the other stars in the NBA. I don't think his team, who his teammates are, as far as I think he thinks he can take any team and win a championship. It's whether he likes the guys in the locker room, whether he likes the guys in the front office, whether he likes the city, because he is not like other NBA
I
stars.
think
He
Jokic-
has no interest in stardom.
He sees basketball as a job.
Exactly.
He doesn't really care as much about it as ever. Like I don't think he cares about legacy.
Not even
I don't
except
think-
for the national team.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think he just wants to make some money, go back to wherever, and have his horses, and
That's exactly
just
what he
chill.
is. That's right.
And good for him.
Yeah.
Absolutely good for him for having
Best-
perspective.
Best player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like in the moment, best player. Like Larry Bird with more size and honestly probably even a better shooter. It's unreal how good he is.
He's good.
And if he played with Tyrese Haliburton, I would trade the rest of the freaking team
We've
to make that
discussed
happen.
Yeah, you did.
So that's interesting because he is just so much fun to watch. The most fun player probably since Larry Bird
Oh, Jokic.
to watch play basketball.
How old is Jokic?
30.
I wouldn't trade
30.
I wouldn't trade everything for
He
him.
looks like he's 45.
He does.
But
I think he's
don't know.
30 or 31.
And I just say it because he's got a lot of. He is also a guy that's got a lot of wear and tear on his body. He really does.
He's a big dude.
So at age 30, I wouldn't give up everything for him.
But even last year, he was the best player in the world.
He might have been, and he might be,
I'm
but I'm
just
not
saying.
going to give it. Just
The
like
potential for
just
it.
like at LeBron James at 40,
The
I'm not giving
potential
up
to get
anything
to see
for
him in a Pacers uniform every night, with Haliburton.
That gives us a segue, Michelle. Do you think LeBron stays with Los Angeles, or do you think he's going
Cleveland.
You think he's going to go back to
He's
Cleveland
going
again?
to Cleveland.
Well, I know you say that, but if I'm the Cavaliers, I don't want him.
No, I know, but that's what's happening.
I don't want it, but they're going to have to trade away a lot, and
They're not.
they will to
They
get
won't
it.
have to.
They will. I mean, they don't. They're
The
going to have
Lakers
to.
are turning the page.
But they're going to have to match him. I mean, he's going to make $50 million this year. That's
right.
a lot of
That's
money.
why the Lakers will give him away for almost nothing.
But they're still. But Cleveland will be responsible for that salary.
Yep.
And that's where I mean.
But it's happening.
I don't. I think it's 50-50 on whether it happens. I don't think it's a sure bet, because Cleveland's young. They've kind of made some things that have made them a little bit better defensive team. You're talking about getting LeBron, who makes a lot of money, but he only won you one championship. I mean, he actually literally gave up on you before that.
That's kind of my thing with LeBron in Cleveland. Like, he started there and tried, then he left, and he took his talents to South Beach, which to me is the day that ruined his legacy.
Yes, it did.
That to me, that
and not that he went to Miami the way he did it.
The way he did it ruined it for me.
Not one, not two,
So then he went back to Cleveland, and then he went to L.A., and then back to Cleveland?
Yep.
I don't know.
It's happening.
Here's another reason I'm not so sure it happens. Bronny's still in L.A. His youngest son's going to play in Arizona. He's out there on the West Coast. I mean, he's close to them. He can go watch. He likes watching his kids play basketball. There's personal days. And I know you say you can take him from Cleveland, but I mean,
the Lakers have new management, and they don't care about LeBron James.
Exactly, but he picked up his option. I think they'll try, but I'm not sure that LeBron wants to leave. That's the whole thing. And if he does not want to leave, he doesn't leave. That's a contract.
Good point.
And that's what I'm saying. Or if he leaves, I'm not sure he wants to go back to Cleveland. It might have to be.
I think he would love to go bring another championship to Cleveland, and they would be the best team.
I could see him wanting to retire from
right now. It would hurt their future for sure, but right now, if he went to Cleveland for Jarrett Allen, they would be unstoppable.
But if I'm Cleveland, I just don't want him.
They love him. The entire city loves him.
I'm tired of talking about him, really.
Cleveland the city and those fans, because of the things he's done, but I don't want him. And if you're a true Cleveland Cavaliers basketball fan and you see potential, I don't want him.
Depends on what your priorities are.
I don't want a 40-year-old. Maybe
for Pacers fans, the only priority to me is winning a championship. But if your franchise has won championships, you have different priorities. And if
LeBron hasn't shown an ability to win you a lot of championships.
If
you're talking if he had been Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan with that pedigree, then probably yes. But
I think LeBron's got different priorities at this point too. I mean, I think he would take another championship.
No, his only priority is catching Michael Jordan in the championship.
He's never
I know he's not, but he still thinks he's going to.
I don't think so.
He believes if he goes to Cleveland, he could win two more.
No, I think that he has shifted his strategy about legacy to talk about championships aren't the most important.
Because he knows.
Yes, exactly right.
He shifted his strategy to longevity and other things.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly right, John.
Yeah.
He doesn't
go to Cleveland and win two more.
He could barely play a lot. I mean, his body's breaking down, and he knows
he was amazing last year.
His body, but he missed a lot more games than he's ever had without being injured. Yes, he did.
2 years ago.
He missed a lot. I'm talking about without really being major, suffering an injury. He missed games last year for soreness. Now, I'm telling you, he is not his body, and he knows it. And here's the thing: he also knows if he goes out and does an ACL or blows an Achilles, he's done. His career is over and done. So I don't think he wants to go and be that guy that plays 48 minutes. Knows he can't be that guy that plays 48 minutes a night for 70 games.
Doesn't have to be in Cleveland. He will have to be in L.A.
All right. Anybody else we want to talk about? Because I'm done talking about LeBron.
I think this next season, come trade deadline, is going to be very interesting. I don't think there will be a lot of trades this summer. I saw where they said that this was one of the worst free agent classes that they've had in a while. As far as like signings and stuff, and I think you're going to see more big stuff happen. I think during next year's trade, I think you get teams that are going to be interested to see how they're playing and what their future is. Teams like Boston, even the Pacers to some extent, because when you go and you're playing without your superstars, and how close you are, and that's what I think. I think once the season starts and things go, that trade is going to be a very interesting trade deadline.
Before we go, how many games do you think the Pacers win next year? And by the way, LeBron James missed 7 games last year and was amazing.
The Pacers will win 41. 41.
And 45 to 50.
I think it's 50. I think they're going to win more games this year than they did last year. Not because Haliburton, but because they were 10 and 15 at one point. Jarris Walker and Benedict Mathurin are the key. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Oh, there's not. I mean, it's time for Walker to step up and Mathurin, and that's why I say the trade this next year's going to be interesting, even with the Pacers, because you've got Walker, you've got Matherin, you've got Obi Toppin.
Pritchard said in his press conference he wants to make that big trade.
Yeah.
That's basically what
but
he said.
But he also wants...
I look forward to making it.
He also wants culture over...
Absolutely. Do not make...
Over talent. And so he's not... It's not going to be...
He will never panic. You know that. He will never panic into a trade.
And, and people can laugh, but, it could even be... I mean, Siakam could even be on the block because of his age and different things next year just to see how things go.
For a big name, for sure.
Yeah, especially if Walker really steps up his level of play. It's going to be very... That's why I say the Pacers...
It's going to be a fun year.
Maybe he'll surprise me and make a trade before the season starts. I think they're more apt to make that big trade after the season started.
Guys, thank you so much. Appreciate your time as always. Thank you so much to Tipton Municipal Golf Course for hosting us on Wednesday mornings. And we will talk very soon. In fact, the Fever game has begun. So we'll
I know. I got to
be recapping that soon.
All right. You guys have a good night.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much again to John and Michelle for joining the Central Indiana Sports Report. And thank you for listening. Please go like, subscribe, or follow us at YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or SoundCloud, and tell your friends. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.